Hey Stephanie, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Chad?
I'm doing okay. I appreciate you taking the time to hop on.
Yes, sir. Always. Yeah.
All right, I love it. All right, so you've been in the seat for a little less than a year, like 9 months or so right now, right?
Yep, that is correct. 9 months.
All right, and you have done some awesome things, not only just coming into the industry, but some of the success that you've had. Do you mind kind of taking us through a little bit of that?
Yeah, coming into Castro, I pretty much had no idea about any type of roofing, sales, any type of the government industry. I was a basketball coach for 20 years. I was a teacher. I had my own painting business. So in the end, I didn't realize that I was actually in the sales business when it came to coaching and stuff. I had to sell myself, sell a program. But a lot of it had to do with just managing players, managing budgets, rides, like transportation, this, that, and the other. And once I started listening to Roof Wars, back in March. I started in March for Roof War, so it's been a year with you guys.
That's all.
Um, it all kind of made sense. I was like, oh, I kind of do this on a different level, with parent. I mean, my thing was parents for your disgruntled clients, so we had to make sure you kept the parents happy. So I felt like that had a lot to do with my success early on in the sales roofing career.
That's awesome. So I love that you took what you did inside the past, put it into this, and kind of merged it. So when you came on board, we were already working, right? So what was the thing that really kind of made you say like, all right, this fits my style. Like I'm going to commit and we're gonna build this. What was it about service alignment?
I feel it was just the roof wars, how you guys made it. It wasn't boring to listen to. You guys made it actual. You and David are very passionate people, and I feel as a coach, I'm very passionate in everything I do. I don't care what it is. I'm not going to be second best in it, and I refuse to fail. A lot of people say that's cliche, but I will do my research. I will be the best at whatever it is. If I don't know it, I'm going to learn it. And for me, jumping on roof wars, even before I started in June for Castro, but I started you guys in March. And I would call Ryan and be like, this is Chinese to me. Like I can listen to a lot of things. I'm like, but there's so much that I don't know in this career starting out so later on in my career, like switching jobs that I was like, it's not overwhelming, but it was just a lot of like aha moments. Like, man, I've been in the college sports world dealing with kids and parents, and their concern is why is Annie not playing 5 minutes longer than Joe? For here it's multi-million dollars going out, re-roofing money, contracts, staying up with things that are very important to clients, and money. Money is one of the biggest things that we have to obviously learn how to control, and learn how to help people. Not just sell, not just to sell a client is for me was building relationships. And I felt like that I always did that with coaching, and that was the easiest part for me. So I knew when you guys started talking about the building relationships aspects and roof wars, and that we don't just want a sale, we want a client. That's when I was kind of like, oh, okay, like this is kind of what I already done. So I kind of took my confidence and knowledge and coaching, and then I started turning it into like what you guys are doing. So that gave me a little bit more confidence when I did come on week after week for Roof Wars. It started clicking and making more sense because I could pull it from my past career.
Love it. Love
Um,
it. So
yeah.
I really enjoy that you're a student of the game, right? You're
Mhm.
learning, you're constantly learning, and you said if you're going to do it right, you're going to learn it and do it right. That's awesome. So talk to us a little bit about your first 90 days. So coming on board, some of the goals that were set, and then what you were able to accomplish.
Yeah, the first 90 days, for me, Ryan Rasky, he's my savior, my mentor, along with David. David Bryant does a great job with teaching. I feel like with a coach, you can have great players, but a horrible coach that doesn't know how to teach these kids, or you can have a horrible team with a great coach, and those players end up being the best they can be because you have someone that knows how to teach what they know. And I felt with David and Ryan, they didn't expect me to know anything. Some people, especially David, when he's that seasoned, sometimes we forget that when we tell people they may not be on that level that they understand, but we think they should be. I feel like with David, he broke everything down, from square one. He goes, I know you have this, but I'm gonna teach you how to do it this way. And I felt with Ryan, I could go down and Ryan could train me. I live at 45 minutes from his house. So I was in person with Ryan, just watching him all of June and July, just sitting there and seeing how he deals with the clients, how he speaks to them, how he built the relationship. It wasn't so like he's professional, but it's not so uppity. You could actually be yourself in this career, which is what I really liked. I didn't want to go from being a coach that, you can run your own things and run your own team and stuff and talk to them, but for the roofing company, I felt like it was the same way. You know, your personality is what's going to pretty much almost help sell the sale. You know, so I feel like with seeing how Ryan is, I mean, him a very similar personality, it really gave me confidence just to get on the phone and just start talking to people. You know, and then realizing that Ryan's been in the business a long time, but he's like, there's some things I don't know about roofing either, Steph. You know, so that made me feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that even though we've been in it for a long time or just in the beginning, we all know what we have to do, and that is to make sure that the client, is taken care of. The white glove service that we say, and that we're getting them everything that they need. Even though sometimes we might not understand what our techs are doing, that takes time, and I ask questions so I can obviously give my clients, an answer if they have a question on something that we are doing. But I feel that with that, it's just learning. It's part of the game. You start in beginner level, then you work your way up, to pro. So I feel like with Ryan and David there, guiding me along the way. Then the roof wars. The most important thing with that was when I started in March, I had no idea what you were talking about. And then once like August hit, like I had ideas, but once August hit, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what they were talking about in April. Now this makes sense on why they spent 2 weeks talking about the same thing, because it's drilling in your head that the beginning process is the most important, like building your foundation. And the foundation of who we are as salespeople or account managers it's the best thing you need, because if your foundation's cracky, you're gonna not be as successful consistently. And my thing is consistency. I want to be able to come in and not do a one-hit wonder. I want to be someone that learns, takes off, kind of grabs the ropes by the, grabs the bull by the horn and just runs with it and see how far I can go and continue to keep learning in that process. So the 90 days that I did have, I brought in five new clients that Castro never worked with. Through your guys' webinars and the grow and scale and the roof wars, I really felt like every time I kind of hit something that week, like from Wednesday to Tuesday, you guys happened to touch on the topic that Tuesday. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it's like they're in my brain. They know what we're all going through. They know that all of us are having the same type of, I wouldn't say struggles, but the same type of questions, because you guys have been through it. And that's the one thing, from perspective as a coach is, I played Division 1, I coach D1, so to me, I understand that level of work ethic, the level of dedication, loyalty that has to go into, to be the best team, the best coach you can be. And I feel like that was with you guys. Like I felt like every time I needed something, it was like aha moment. And now that I was in the field, I could actually understand what you guys were talking about back in March and April, May before I started. So I felt like all those little things that come into play with Ryan, David, the roof wars, listening to you guys in those 9 months, it just made me boom. As far as getting new clients, and those new clients they're still strong with Castro. They're bringing in consistent work every month. And a lot of them said they went with Castro because of our communication, our reliability, and the fact that we check up on them, not to sell them. We check up on them, make sure that they're good, that our workers are doing what they're supposed to do, and that we're showing up and giving you the best service, no matter if you're spending $2,000 or $200,000. We try and treat every client like they're our number one client. And to me, I feel like that's part of my coaching is that every kid, if they scored 1 point or 50, I treated them like they were number one, because, in the end, they're out here doing the same things. They may not be as talented, but they're out here doing those little things that we need to be successful. And I feel with you guys, the little things I've done with you, David and Ryan, has what really has made me successful so far.
I love it. So where are you? So first year, never in the industry, coming in, where are you projected to be sales or revenue wise at the end of the first year?
I'm at so my goal with David is 1 million. So I know I did, what was it? 741,000 in 9 months. So we're bumping it up to 1 million. So I like to go 1.3.
All
That's
right,
my personal goal.
1.3.
I
So
like to do
that
1.3.
phenomenal respect. Like I said, coming in, no book of business, bringing 5 clients in. I mean, that's awesome work.
Yeah.
So what was one of the biggest challenges or struggles that you had prior to coming in and working with us? What was one of the struggle that you guys dealt with, or that you dealt with?
The struggle was just the fact that, it comes down to as you get older, you want to have a life that you're comfortable with when it comes to financial freedom. And I work, I was a teacher. I had my own painting business, so I was always hustling. And I mean, I picked up any job I could. I was coaching on top of that. But unfortunately, when I went back to high school, they don't pay you much. So I made $4,000 coaching the whole season. I just made 3 grand off my commission from last month. So like,
There
do
you
the
go.
math. When it comes down to it, like as you get older, you want to work smarter, not harder. And to me, it was just I was just trying to find a different path, and I know that I'm really great with kids and I've been very successful, as a teacher and a coach. And everyone's like, this is your calling. And I said, yeah, maybe 20 years, the last 20 years it's been. But I'm at a point where I live in Sarasota, Florida. I have one income. So it's like I don't want to work 17 jobs just so I have my calling, which is teaching, which I'm grateful for. But I wanted to see I wanted to have an opportunity where I can challenge myself. Teaching wasn't challenging for me anymore. I felt like I could do it in my sleep. And I could never grow up with my income. If this is what you're set here, you have a master's degree, this is what you're getting paid for the rest of your life. Good luck. And for me, it was the fact of I needed a challenge. I needed to have, room to grow as a person, room to grow in a different, avenue as far as using my mind every day in different aspects, reaching out and helping people. I feel like I'm such a giver that I feel like in the account managing position, you are giving yourself to people. You're still helping people. You're trying to help them, advise them to what is right and who's trying to, get one over you, or the one person that's really here just to help you understand what your roof is about, or understand, like I said, like we're like a roofing advisor. Instead of just being like, oh, I'm a salesperson. No, like we're here to help you understand what you're buying and understand why sometimes prices, the higher the price is because it's quality. The lower the price, you're gonna spend more money in the long run fixing what they didn't fix the first time. So for me, it was just making a move. And Ryan hit me up in October. I had a friend that passed away, and he hit me up almost a year and a half ago in October, and was like, "You done coaching yet? Because I want to hire you." And I said, "Actually, I just quit. I just retired." And he's like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like Ryan, don't tease me, bro, because I'm really going through, like, I'm praying a lot about what's my next move. Like, don't throw this in my face and then take it away. Like, I'm excited about it, and I've seen his success, and I know what kind of person that he is. So my personality is the same. We can talk to anybody, and we do it with good intentions, and we do it to build a life that we've always wanted. And for Ryan, I'm proud of him, coming out his past and becoming who he is today. I'm like, if this guy can come out from where he was to who he is today, for me, that drive and passion and to have him by my side, that was one of the biggest security nets I could have, was having Ryan in my backyard, and knowing that I'm going from a career that I'm used to. I can do it. I can do it in my sleep, to a whole new venue of I have no idea what they're talking about, and to now I'm understanding why people are so successful when it comes to sales, and as long as you get into the right environment, and have the right mentors.
Yep, love it. Love it. All right. So anybody who's thinking about jumping on board with service alignment, bringing their team in, what would you say to them? What recommendations or what input would you have on them coming on board?
I would say number one is your guys' passion. Your passion to help others, your passion to do it out of your free time. That you actually take the time to care about us and not just your name or what you can get out of your name, or hey, this person sells a lot, let's get him in here and make us look good. You guys are really truly genuine, hardworking individuals that I felt have been in my seat many years ago. I mean, you guys have built, amazing things that you guys both you and David have done over your careers. And like you said, trial and error, making 100 calls a day, like that one roofing story. It's like, oh, I thought the guy was giving me all the money. Come to find out he was giving his other guy like 1 million. He's only giving me 200,000. I thought I was his best friend. So those real life stories, and experiences that you guys share with us, it speaks volumes, because it's to the point where right when we think we're falling off, or oh, this probably hasn't happened to somebody else, you guys go in and tell us exactly why it happened to you 4 or 5 times, or that you had to leave somewhere, to understand, and that you had to get better in this area or that area. So for me, it's just it's your drive, it's the will to want to teach us, to be coaches, coaches of your game. And I feel like a lot of people that are successful nowadays don't want to show people how to get there. They pretty much forget where they came from. And I feel that between you and David, you're the most humble, respectable, fun. I mean, I have a blast talking to David every week, and I feel like he's a friend of mine, not just someone that I talk to, numbers about. But he really, truly, genuinely cares about me as a person, me and my financial situation, and the outcome that he wants, and that he sees in me. He sees potential. And as long as I put in the work, and that's the one thing about coaching is we can see potential all day, but there's players that were the best players out there, and they wouldn't put anything extra. For us, it's we can see it, but we can't make it do it. So I feel that with you guys, having my back, it's motivated me even more to want to learn more about what you guys experience or to learn from your experiences in order for me to continue to grow in the way that I need to.
I love it. I love it. Thank you very much. I mean, you talk about everything you said. I mean, that what you're saying is the trusted advisor, right? You're coming in, you're sitting
Yeah.
on the same side of the table, you're creating those relationships, just not sales. And I really truly look forward to seeing what you can do, not just year one, right? At a million, 1.3. I mean, that's absolutely incredible, but what you're going to be able to accomplish in the years to come. So
Yeah.
truly, truly appreciate you jumping on and doing this. And yeah, we'll talk soon.
Yeah. All right. All right. Thanks, Chad. I appreciate your time.